Streaming. And we're live.
Hello.
But I forgot to change the title and stuff.
How could you
Watamote.
do this? No!
It's alright. It's alright. It'll just take a second. YouTube Anime Club thumbnail. Open. Save. Cool, we're good. Whoa, 3 whole concurrent viewers, everyone.
I'm not even one of them.
Whoa. Thank you for supporting
Yeah,
me.
I'm still seeing Decode Talker as the thumbnail.
It'll be fine. Yeah, you should be able to refresh and see the right thumbnail now.
Awesome. Awesome possum.
Awesome. Never watched the anime, but you like hearing us get into tiffs about them. I don't think we're going to get into any tiffs this time. I think we all like this one.
Watamote's very basic.
I don't know about that now.
It's an anime that
it's
says
formulaic.
Yeah, you're right.
there's so much character analysis to do.
Mm-hmm. I did 2 whole videos of it.
Yeah.
Could probably do another, and I'm sure I will remember what it would have been about as we talk, because I don't right now.
To me, the thumbnail still appears as the bird decode one.
Because to me, it says it's fixed, but I will change it again. Save. Done. Should be good.
I don't know why. But maybe that's just me. I have no idea. What do you say, Scrub?
It's whatever.
What's whatever?
We can work on getting it fixed later.
It should be fixed now.
I mean, I don't know. To me, it just appears the same. So that's why. I mean, I have no clue if there's even anything you can do about it.
Yeah, it's the same for me, but YouTube's just being YouTube.
Don't ask me.
Yeah, maybe just take some time.
Anyway, we got 24 whole people here. What's up?
Let's talk about Watamote.
Mm-hmm. Pulling stuff up now. Hello. To all 24 of you, welcome to the Explanation Point Anime Club. This is a once-a-month affair where we all get together and we talk about an anime that we selected last month. Last month's theme was anime that you are thankful for. I submitted Watamote and it won the vote. So we're going to be talking about everyone's favorite little socially anxious gremlin child, Tomoko Kuroki.
Possibly second favorite at this point.
You like Bochi?
I like Bochi.
Mm-hmm.
You like her more?
Yeah.
That's heresy. Get out of here.
I don't know if I would call Bochi a gremlin. But, you know, Tomoko's very clearly on the gremlin side of things. She is a bad person.
Oh, absolutely. She is an awful human being.
Mm-hmm. I watched this show. Mariah had a friend visiting from California, and we watched it with him because I remembered that I had to watch it. And the whole time, he was sitting on the couch like, why? Why are we... Why is she? Why does... What? He was just completely baffled by the whole thing. It was amazing to watch.
Some people just don't get it.
That's true.
I feel like he didn't relate, which is a big part of it. Like, that's one of the things about Watamote that makes it hard to show other people. Because you have the surface level cringe comedy, right? Like, everyone can appreciate that, even if it's not their thing. But if you don't sympathize with Tomoko's anxiety, then she's just a bad person who's painful to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just a fucking like asshole who blames everything on other people
and cheats at magic with children.
And then I'm like, okay, cool. So I have anxiety. I can understand this character. I realize she's an awful person
She's horrible.
with anxiety.
Yeah, like, I love watching shows about bad people, especially when they like tangentially get into why they are like that. Because with Tomoko, she has a medical problem. There's nothing in her life that justifies having this level of anxiety. She wasn't bullied. Her parents are great. She does fine in school from what we can tell. She just is horribly anxious about everything. Which is really sad, and it gets her into this self-destructive, anxious loop where every social interaction she has reinforces the idea that she's bad at social interaction, which makes her worse at social interaction.
Girl got that clinical depression hard.
I don't know about depression so much.
I mean, in the dub at least, she does call it depression.
Sure. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, that's...
maybe near the end. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's not the vibe I got, at least. Because she does have plenty of stuff that she enjoys. She likes playing card games. She gets a kick out of being better than other people. Has a ludicrous sex drive.
Yeah. She likes anime.
She likes
is
anime.
terminally online.
She does what now?
She's terminally online. I'm not sure if you could count that as an interest, but it is a character trait.
Yeah,
I think.
That's a pretty depressed thing. Back in the day, I watched Watamote and wrote a fanfic about overcoming social anxiety through music and joining a band, and then Bochi happened.
Amazing.
My Hero Academia inspired me to better myself. Watamote and NHK threaten me with what happens if you don't. No, that's a very good point. I'm also in the middle of rewatching NHK, and seeing these two so close to each other is something. That's something for sure. I would love to do NHK for this, but it's too long. Are we only talking about the anime? Yes, we are. We always only talk about the anime, and it's so sad that Watamote is eligible for this. Because, did you guys know the anime is still on? The manga is still going?
Yeah.
Damn, for real?
Yeah, no, the Watamote manga is still happening.
She's still in fucking high school. Oh, sorry for swearing.
Good for her.
Watamote
Good for her.
was pretty privileged.
You fucking live your best life, girl.
Komi rubbed me the wrong way the whole time. And I think that's a pretty common criticism of Komi. But we're not here to talk about Komi. We're here to talk about Watamote. Tomoko Watamote. Yeah, the whole time I was watching it, I was looking at this guy watching Watamote and thinking he doesn't get it. And at one point he said, like, there's one thing I can tell for sure about this show, and that it's that it was written by a man. And I'm like, how are you getting that impression? Like,
Watamote?
Yeah, I know. Well, like, he wasn't paying close attention. I think he just saw all the gratuitous sexualization and was like, all right, a dude wrote this, and like, you are, like, this is... Watamote gives me, this is what I said to him, it gives me very big my lesbian experience with loneliness vibes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that is one of the most viscerally written by a woman things I have ever read.
No, this is so fucking, like, this show is finally one of the best examples I can throw at people that's like, no, this is like, if your show like is constantly talking about sex, that doesn't make it horny. It just means that it has something to say about it.
For sure.
And this one is, it's funny. And I agree.
This one is, sex is funny?
I mean, that's grossly oversimplifying it, but...
Oh, I have unfortunate news. I think the author is male. I mean, it says
okay.
Nico Tanigawa.
The author is two people under one pen name. I don't know if either or both of them is male. I'm just saying, if one or both of them is male, good for them.
Oh yeah, good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's certainly not the kind of show that I look at and think a dude has to have written this.
Yeah.
Watamote was your first anime. I'm so sorry, Fartuio.
Actually, I think it was my first anime as well. Well, at least the
Really?
first real. Yeah. I
It
mean,
was-
like before that, I've seen Yu-Gi-Oh, if that counts. Pokemon.
Sure, the classic ones. Watamote was one of the first ones that I watched when I really got back into anime. When I started watching My Hero Academia, I watched My Hero Academia, Watamote. I remember Sound of the Sky, Shiki.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird mix.
Yeah, my first anime was Digimon, so
Yeah, well, that-
unsurprising how I turned out.
When you don't have to count any anime that you watched when your age had one digit.
No, I'll always count Digimon first in my heart.
Thought the writer was a woman based on Tomoko's hobby. Which one? Trading card games? Streaming? Looking up women's skirts?
So, is it just kind of me, or does Tomoko kind of got that big fucking lesbian energy?
It's not just
I mean,
you.
undoubtedly. I mean, like, you don't even. I mean, the anime is enough for that.
I mean, like, she always talks about, like, you know, doing it with guys, and then gets the most flustered when around her big boobied best friend.
Well,
Yeah.
People always bring this up to me in the comments of my 2 Watamote videos. They always say, like, you never even mentioned that Tomoko's a lesbian. Like, I didn't feel like it needed mentioning. It's not subtext, it's just the text.
It's just the text, but
Yeah.
it doesn't really go anywhere with it.
No,
it's
it
just
doesn't
something that
have to.
exists.
Like, I don't know why I'm saying this to you like I'm defending anything, but people can just be gay. It doesn't have to be a plot
No,
point.
yeah, I'm aware.
I know that you are. I know.
God help me, I'm aware.
Tomoko gives off bisexual disaster energy. Absolutely. She seems like she's into anyone who is willing to put their hands on her. And that she has a slight to moderate preference for women.
Perchance.
Less than half the trans lesbians I've talked to have noted her in some way. Like half, not less than half. Yeah, like, I don't know why people keep saying this as though you have to dig for it. Like, she flat out says that she finds women attractive. It's just the text. Yeah, Tomoko also fangirls hot boy yandere voice actors. Like, she's not gay. She is not homosexual. Dio does bring up a good point, though, is that her love of Bishonen guys does not necessarily mean that she's into men. The absolute biggest fujoshi in the world are exclusively lesbians. You can clip that out of context. Should we go ahead and talk about the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk about the OP first, as we always do. I love this OP so much.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Now, the combination of the OP and the ED together really hits me, because it's the two ways that Tomoko treats her own anxiety, mostly. I'm gonna need to go open the door. Cat says he needs in. Be right back. Enjoy my pajamas.
But yeah, I mean, we can work off that, so...
Okay, so let's talk about the pajamas.
They
Anyway.
don't look like pajamas.
How could you?
Hello, are we still here?
Yes, we're still here.
I think
Cool.
they are.
People in chat, is the stream still doing okay? It's frozen on my end.
Oh, you're fine.
Cool.
It looks fine to me.
Kitty. All right. I was talking about the OP and the ED. Yeah, something I noticed this time while I was actually reading the subtitles of the OP and ED is that, first off, there were 2 songs that were written with reference to this show, which I always appreciate. Because usually when a band writes an OP for a song, it's something that they want to be able to like put on an album and sell on its own. But these are specifically about Tomoko from Tomoko's perspective, which is always nice to see. And the way these 2 songs work together is that the opening, they show Tomoko's 2 big reactions to her anxiety and her social situation, because the opening is all of her rage and her turning outward and saying, like, everyone else is bad, everyone else is horrible, they are making my life miserable, and the ending is, I am bad, I am horrible, I'm making my life miserable. Which is just, it's really cool.
Yeah, that's actually pretty brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it until now.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I don't know. I hope this is not the official translation. But in the translation that we watched, the subtitles for the ending theme have Tomoko asking herself a question involving a slur for mentally disabled people.
What, am I R?
Yeah, she says, am I retarded?
Mm-hmm.
Which is obviously not a cool thing to say, but everyone burst out laughing because it's just such a fucking Tomoko thing to say.
Yeah.
She would say slurs as a defense mechanism.
Tomoko would say slurs. Her
I mean, she
smugness
calls her...
while being a complete disaster hits too close to home. Yeah, no, Tomoko is such a great character. I love how well this portrays somebody who lashes out and sees themselves in a superior light as a defense mechanism. Because with every interaction, you can feel this self-loathing, no matter what, no matter how much she says, like, I'm the queen, I'm the best, everyone else is a lowly peasant unfit of eating sport dirt. Tomoko hates herself, and you can feel it every time she speaks. What's up, Fire King?
Hi, Fire King.
Cool, happy to see you too.
If you are talking, we can't hear you.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to
Totally
continue
silent.
the conversation.
Are you fucking kidding me, you piece of shit?
There we go.
No, whoa, hey.
Okay, there we go. I don't know what the heck was going on there. For some reason,
I had to wait till you started getting violent.
I love this too. I couldn't hear you guys at all because for some reason it keeps changing to default the sound device, but instead of going to my headphones, which is the default, it decides to go to some random of the other 30 monitors I plugged in.
Mm-hmm. Sorry to hear it. Sorry to hear about your troubles.
Anyway, were we streaming when I started swearing like crazy?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we were online. Everybody heard.
Good to know.
You're never going to be able to get a job. I'm sorry.
Good to know. I've already been resigned from a couple of places from telling my bosses. Anyway.
Oh, it's okay. I've already said slurs.
Yay. So are we talking about the anime I didn't watch?
Sure. I mean, we are. I guess you're not.
Yep.
Okay. OP, ED. I've already gone over the really cool thing about the ED in one of my Watamote videos. I think it was the first one. Fantastic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Should we talk about the episodes?
Absolutely.
Watamote episode descriptions. Let's see. Where is Mr. Point? That's me.
Okay, but where's the funny one that made the
Where's
video
the
about
funny
Tomo?
talking one who
Where's
makes
the funny
movement
guy with the
video?
deep voice?
Yes.
Not
Not
this
me.
high-pitched guy who always talks about politics. Ugh.
Watamote episode synopsis. Now imagine a fish. Not interested. I don't want
hope-
to imagine a fish.
When I clean and move my computer sometime next year, I'll fix it so I won't ever have this issue of my mic never working again.
That sounds like a
Hopefully.
good idea. Manga. That's the manga synopsis. Why is this being so difficult? Anime television adaptation by Silverlink.
Relatively obscure anime from 2013.
I don't know if I'd call one.
But I mean, like, if Brady Decode
Here we
had
go.
a...
There was an anime section in the Wikipedia article. Harem anime traumatized me and my brother. I'm so sorry. Alright, episode 1. Since I'm not popular, I'll change my image a bit. Tomoko Kuroki believes she'd be popular upon entering high school, having spent countless hours playing otome games. However, 2 months have passed since she started high school, and she hasn't made a single friend, let alone a boyfriend. After taking a look in the mirror, she realized she's not the popular girl she thought herself to be. Wanting to change, Tomoko comes to her brother Tomoki to try to learn to conduct a conversation with a guy, which only irritates him. The next day, Tomoko tries doing high school girl things, such as reading in the bookshop and eating at a burger joint, but it does little to raise her esteem. Wow.
You are getting fast at that.
Thank you.
Can
What a
maybe get on
description.
You can maybe get on the debate team now.
I would love to.
I love Tomoki.
Tomoki is such a good foil to Tomoko. He's just quietly doing his own thing. We learn nothing about him.
We learn that he's, like, actually functional as a human being.
Yeah, he has friends. He plays soccer.
He does chores.
Yes, he's a good child.
Mm.
Unlike Tomoko.
He even makes his own lunches.
Mm-hmm. Why can't you be more like your brother? Do you think Tomoko is sort of aware of her own sexuality, or if it might have sort of repressed it because of internalized homophobia? She seems very aware of it. Considering how many times she talks about sexy girls being sexy and wanting to have sex with them.
Though she definitely has some weird...
I know, but you know what I mean.
She has some weird beauty... it's hard to say how she really sees herself, because...
There's some strong internalized misogyny. I don't know about homophobia. Like,
I mean, it's clear that I think her lack of understanding what social beauty is probably more due to her reclusiveness, considering the first episode has the segment of her dressing herself up and looking awful.
Looking fun.
Looking great, girl. Yeah.
Slay.
Slay, queen.
The thing that strikes me, I don't know how prevalent it is in this first episode, but the thing that strikes me most about Tomoko and Tomoki's interactions is how often she takes things in an incestuous direction. It's like,
wait.
It's like every time she's in his room, she sits down, and the one I remember is like, your sister's on the floor in her school uniform. That get you excited?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
It's not like she's saying, like, hey, I want a bone. She's just saying, like, hey, the media I've consumed has taught me that this is how brothers and sisters interact. Like, that you secretly want to bone me. Ha, tease, tease. It's a very otaku, socially awkward kind of thing. It's just a nice little detail.
Yeah. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Tomoki just says, like, either ignores it or just calls her stupid or something to that extent.
Yeah. Well, he only says your clothes are stupid when her clothes are stupid. Like, he's not outlandishly mean, and that's very important because, again, we never see Tomoko getting bullied. Whenever she tries to interact with people socially, like, the worst reaction she gets is pity. So all of this horrible anxiety is not the result of people being mean to her.
Not in high school, anyway.
Sure. I haven't read the manga. I don't know what the background is. But she says that she was relatively popular in middle school.
No, that's not true. So, I mean, maybe I shouldn't go into this too much because it's like a spin-off manga, but I think the idea in the spin-off manga is she was pretty much just as socially anxious. It's just that in a fluke, she managed to get you as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That's what made her mildly more, I guess, successful in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's even in episode 1 when she thinks to herself, like, oh, I talked to boys in middle school like 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And she unironically takes that as a point of pride.
Yeah, she's relatively popular compared to now.
Yeah. But not actually popular.
No.
Just
No,
like
never. God. God forbid. God forbid we live in a world where Tomoko Watamote could be popular.
Never read the manga. Okay, I've probably restrained myself from comments like that.
So, yeah, Tomoko and Tomoki just have a great relationship to watch. It's very real. In the same way that the friendship between the main character and his friend in Birdie was very real. They just have a great dynamic that I perfectly believe.
Yeah, I mean, it does actually feel like a sibling dynamic that I don't think I see a lot in anime.
Yeah. Like, that scene, I forget what episode it's in, but I think episode 3, Tomoki comes home drenched from the rain, and he walks inside. It's like, yeah, I need to take a shower and dry off because I'm going to catch a cold. She just blocks the door.
Yeah.
She's just brushing her teeth, and she doesn't let him in. That's hilarious.
So cruel.
Oh, she's
So
horrible.
dumb.
She's the worst person. Okay. Yeah, first episode just shows, I think, how tragic this show is and is going to continue to be, because we can see that Tomoko has this mentality. We can see that it's not justified. It plants the seeds of her hating women, hating herself, this weird shallow mentality that she's got about beauty and about social interaction, dating and sex, and how all of it just comes together into this horrible spiral of destruction.
Yeah.
That gets physically manifested by the end in this hilariously awful outfit.
You mean the one that she tries to make when she wants to exit McDonald's?
Yep.
Or the one at the start?
It's the same outfit, she just doesn't have the makeup and stuff.
I have these people that I never interact with, don't even know who I am, but I'm near them. I am physically close to them every day, so I have to look my absolute bestest, or else they will call me names, and I will die.
Tomoko has no pronouns. Please do not refer to her. Got married in a playroom in kindergarten, lived on that high for years. Yeah, that sounds like Tomoko.
Tomoko would say that she doesn't have pronouns because that's a liberal agenda.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
She wouldn't.
You cut out, Scrub.
Yeah.
She wouldn't say it like that, but she would come up with an excuse for why they're a bunch of idiots.
Tomoko is a 4channer, absolutely. Should we move to episode 2? I don't really think there's much specific to talk about in episode 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Episode 2. Since I'm not popular, I'll see my old friend. Tomoko receives a call from her old middle school friend Yu Naruse asking to meet up with her, though she becomes nervous about meeting her due to her uneventful high school life. While trying to improve herself before the meeting, she ends up spending an annoyingly brief time with another boy in the art room due to skipping class, though is touched by the portrait he drew of her on the day of the meeting. Tomoko is surprised to find that Yu's appearance has changed significantly since she last saw her, but feels relieved that she is still on the inside. After spending the day at the arcade, Tomoko feels encouraged by you to keep doing her best, only to become depressed again after hearing she has a boyfriend. How do you think the message and dynamic of the show would change if the main character were male? I made a video about that. Mostly, I think the show wouldn't happen.
I just got hit with an ad.
It has to be girl.
Yeah, Watamote, as it exists now, cannot have a male man character, period. Males don't have the same kinds of social pressures as females do. Like, a show about a guy who is as socially anxious as Tomoko is would not look anywhere near the same as Watamote.
Wouldn't that be closer to that one, forgot if it was a movie where the guy, like, kind of just pushes himself away from everyone?
That's one way it could go.
What?
Is it
And,
safe
like,
to say that Tomoko is a femcel? Well, by the strictest definition of the word, Tomoko is an incel. She wants a boyfriend and can't get one.
Yeah.
She also strikes me as relatively right-wing and rude, if we want to throw those things into the mix.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure if Tomoko says anything political enough for you to.
You're
use
right.
that.
That's just my vibe, especially considering she wants to be an arms merchant.
I mean, I would say that's more of like a truly bio thing.
Yeah, sure.
I wouldn't
Like,
say it was more-
one way or the other.
She's very close-minded to any other ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not enough information to say one way or the other. That's just the vibe I get. But yeah, Tomoko does absolutely have big incel energy because she is one.
So next episode.
Next episode. No, we have to talk about you.
Oh yeah, you read the summary. Never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot.
We have to talk about you, the viewer at home.
Tenek, how you doing? You okay?
I think I'm fine.
Yeah?
I might just have dementia.
You Watamote is... I love her. Every time she's on screen, I just smile. I feel that way about a lot of characters in this show. It's her and Chi and Imai are all like that.
Chi, you mean her cousin?
Yeah.
I think it's Ki-san, but okay, whatever.
I heard Chi, but
The point is that they're normal people. That's a loaded statement.
wink.
They're just people that are like a lot more functional than our girl.
That's
and
another thing that I
she
appreciate.
took it personally.
That's another thing that I appreciate so much about this show is that a lot of stories like this, they get the temptation to show that all of these seemingly normal people also have their own problems. They're all suffering from some kind of thing, like the Komi can't communicate deal or Bunny Girl Senpai. But no, this show's not cowardly. Tomoko's a fucking freak. Everyone around her can deal with life, and Tomoko just has to walk around being her goblin-y self. It's just great for contrast, and it really makes the point that Tomoko has a problem, and that this is something that needs attention from people who know what they're doing. It's not normal.
I mean, to be fair, Yu-chan does pay a big price for being able to, I don't know, I guess enjoy the benefits of a normie existence.
Sure. Well, I don't know if I would call it a price so much as just changing. You is a success story from Tomoko's point of view, because since we don't get much about you in the anime, but from what we do see, you hangs out with Tomoko. She looks fairly similar to Tomoko, if not less attractive. She seems quiet and shy, and you, after moving to a different school and separating herself from Tomoko, becomes socially successful, for lack of a better word. She integrates into society, changes her look, changes her attitude, and is happier as a result. And now Tomoko can look at that and say, oh shit, I'm the problem.
Yeah, exactly. So from Tomoko's point of view, it's like the Yu-chan's situation is definitely better, and she envies that. But from Yu-chan's point of view, it's the opposite. She wishes she could just remain the same.
I don't know if that's true, like, in aggregate. I think that Yu wishes that she didn't have to put on airs and could still get the social recognition that she gets now. Like, obviously, she prefers the social recognition to being, like, outwardly herself, or she wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I
That's
suppose.
cool.
It's a trade-off. But there's always some degree of trade-off when it comes to participating in society. Like, how many of us will actually go out, shake a stranger's hand, and say, like, hey, this is my full name and here's all my trauma? Like,
Not in 2020.
we don't shake hands anymore. You have to yell your trauma from 3 blocks away.
Heck, even doing that, some people would look at you like a freak.
When you're yelling
Can
your
you
trauma
imagine?
on the street corner.
Ugh.
I think
People
that's it.
nowadays,
Mhm.
no sense in anything. Just
I think-
so rude.
I think the most common people who do that are the crazy ones.
Sure. Like, I can just imagine some, like, buff dude in a bar just with a half a pint of whiskey in his hand. Just like, liberals these days. They're yelling their trauma to anyone who'll listen. Back in my day, we had to quietly whisper it to ourselves while crying in a dark corner. Oh, man. So, yeah, there's always this, like, for lack of a better term, you have to mask a little to fit in. You have to play the game, and you have to pretend to be normal until you know people, and then you can be weird. Once you got them hooked. And Yu understands that, and Tomoko doesn't.
Yeah.
Or you can put that
Well-
into practice, and Tomoko can't.
I mean, but to be fair, it doesn't seem like Tomoko's problems stem from the fact that she wants to remain herself. I mean, in fact, she fantasizes about completely changing her personality in order to attain her goal.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like
tries
that's
to do it plenty of times.
yeah, and she fails, obviously.
You're right.
So I don't know. I mean, I think it just comes back to the social anxiety. You was able to pull it off because she doesn't suffer from crippling social anxiety. Tomoko
Well,
does.
yes, of course.
So she fails.
but
And she has to
Tomoko
go on
does, but the problem is that even if she was talking to somebody online, she would still fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm
Because
not
she
sure.
would
that's-
probably start off immediately talking about how she wants, like, her virtual yandere BF to beat her up.
No, she'll start talking about how she has to go to the bathroom in explicit detail. We've been here.
That's true. That's also true. And then wonder why don't guys like to hear about women's private parts or something like that? And
That's a very good point. Like, that's exactly the kind of misunderstanding I could see Tomoko having. Yeah, and the scene at the end of this episode, not to break off this conversation early, but when Yu, first off, lets it known that she's been upset all day, which Tomoko doesn't notice or comment on. Like, Yu just casually drops, like, yeah, the reason I've been so upset all day is because I had a fight with my boyfriend, but that's not necessarily a big deal. And Tomoko hears boyfriend and
She's like, no,
dun,
you bitch.
dun, dun,
You
dun,
slut.
dun, dun, dun.
you absolute slut.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you have a boyfriend when I don't even have one?
Yep. How dare the boyfriend slut?
I wanted to be your boyfriend.
Yeah, that is the thing that makes Tomoko upset, is like, Yu has succeeded where I have failed, not like, oh, Yu was actually kind of down all day and I didn't notice, maybe I'm a shitty friend. I don't know. I
Yeah,
love
very
that.
Tomoko.
Tomoko Watamote. You're the worst.
So I feel like there's maybe something to be said about just how delusional she is about that painting.
Oh,
Or,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know, maybe that is justified to some extent.
I mean, it does look like her.
But I mean, it also does look pretty flat, like a basic painting. So I'm not sure, maybe to some extent. I mean, of course, we're biased because we know the actual truth behind that painting
Mm-hmm.
and why it was drawn that way.
Yeah. Which is hilarious. I love Hatsushiba.
Yeah.
JR
Best
says
character.
Tomoko's sexuality confuses me. I'm not gonna... It confuses her, too. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into this again. I don't understand what's so confusing about it.
Bisexual disaster.
Yes.
Emphasis on
she
the
is
disaster.
Into anyone she can imagine is willing to touch her. Anyway, episode 3.
That could lead to some really bad situation.
If we wanted to
And
get
it
deep
does.
into that, we could call that demisexual. Well, no, that's
it's
putting
the
some bad
opposite of
connotation.
demisexual.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's fully sexual.
It's just sexual.
Since I'm not popular, the weather's bad. On a rainy day, Tomoko gets an earful from a teacher, and a passerby and her umbrella breaks, forcing her to take shelter. As 2 other boys take shelter as well, she awkwardly attempts to make conversation with them after being sent home early. The next day, after being hit by a basketball, Tomoko decides to tease Tomoki, who is sick with a cold caused by Tomoko herself, later becoming depressed when his female classmates come to deliver his homework. See ya, Sock. Nice to have you here. This is the one where she goes to get her umbrella.
The jingles.
Good
The
times.
classic.
Good times. The scene under the awning hits me every time. Because she's just sitting there with these 2 boys, and she's like, I want to talk to them so bad. I've got to talk to them about something. I'm sweating like it's Kuroko no Basuke. Holy shit. Hey, you see how bad I'm sweating? Man.
Actually, I'm a very fun conversationalist. You just wouldn't know it.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I gotta go poop. In front of the bathroom. And then, despite all of that, this dude, what's his name? Haruka? Anyway, he has a name. This dude decides,
They all do.
like, I'm gonna go get this girl an umbrella. She's clearly having a rough time.
Such a sweetie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Kosaka, that's his name.
Kosaka, that's it.
Bro, if I was fucking like a high school girl and some fucking guy just ran out there to get me an umbrella, like to just buy me a new umbrella, I'd be like, can I keep you?
Mm-hmm. But she doesn't even realize what happened because she's incapable of imagining that someone could be nice to her. She just wakes up and there's an umbrella there and she's like, can I have this? Can I take this? Is this stealing? Such an awful girl. No, like, every time I watch it and I see her come back from the bathroom and the boys are gone, I think, oh shit, I always miss this. I miss that it's still raining and they just left to get away from her. But then I keep watching the episode and that's not what happened.
You fell into her own mindset.
It's true. Such excellent directing. The thing about Tomoki getting a cold, like, this is what we were talking about earlier with her just shutting the door. I hate this girl.
I mean, she gets punished rightfully for that incident.
Yes.
By just getting a cold on the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Which is amazing. It's exactly what she deserves. Like, I think it was Tenek in the Discord chat who said that Tomoko kind of deserves everything she gets. Like, yes, but the reason she gets the things that she gets is not because of the things that make her deserve it. Usually.
Yeah, I think Scrub said that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, then Tomoki's classmates come by to give him his work. They're guiles, and she doesn't like that. I love that she just gets knocked out by a basketball.
Okay, that's a bit sadistic.
Is it? I
Yes.
love watching bad people get knocked out by basketballs.
That's still sadistic. I don't care.
I mean, you know my opinions on King's Game, the animation, which
That's
people
cool.
actually know about now that Jeff made his video.
Yeah.
No, I like watching King's Game, the animation, because seeing teenagers explode into puddles of gore is entertaining to me on a visceral level. Yes, I like watching Tomoko get hit in the face with a basketball. She's bad and rude and cringy, and it's satisfying.
I feel like there must be some bit of Tomoko in you for you to say that.
For sure. You think I would like this show so much if I weren't Tomoko?
True.
It's not the first time she's taken balls to the face. Actually, it is. That's part of the problem. Saw Watamote when it was airing. Congratulations.
Wow. Some old ass weeb in the chat there.
Yeah, seriously. Or they were watching Watamote way too young.
Could be both. Okay,
Episode
but
4? What?
I mean, we didn't really talk about her treatment of Tomoki. Maybe there's nothing really to say there. I found it funny. Like, I feel like maybe that's the problem with a lot of this show. Like, it's very funny, but I'm not sure if much of it will warrant much discussion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of the same problem as, well, it's not really the same problem as Birdie. Birdie's problem was that it was all plot.
Yeah.
And the problem with Watamote, I guess, is that it's mostly jokes and situations. And we can look at the situations and say, yeah, that was funny. And that's it.
Yeah.
Like, normally I read the descriptions of these episodes, and I'm prompted to remember the things I wanted to talk about. But the descriptions are so short because a lot of the appeal of Watamote comes from seeing the characters interact with each other and seeing how Tomoko, like, reacts to everything, how her thought process runs. And that's the kind of stuff that's not getting jogged in my memory. Do I have any plans to maybe analyze manga? No, I don't.
Big sad.
Yeah, sorry. Like, maybe someday I'll get into Chainsaw Man, but probably not. Like, if there's a manga I want to talk about that does not have an anime adaptation, maybe, but I don't really read manga, so. The way she switches from treating Tomoki like she's in a harem anime and actually being his sibling, yeah, like, their dynamic is amazing.
She really... It really does get uncomfortable in the best way possible with them.
Mm-hmm. Except that he doesn't let it.
Yeah, he doesn't let it get uncomfortable because he just wants to, like, kick her violently out of his room.
No, he's just like, what are you talking about? Is this some weeb shit? Get out of here. Learn how to interact with a normal person. Episode 4.
Episode 4.
Since I'm not popular, I'll have a good dream. Tomoko tries to follow an online guide on erotic dreams, but only winds up having nightmares. Later, she ends up stuck on a crowded train where she fears she is being molested, only to find out she has just gotten caught on another girl's practice naginata. Afterward, Tomoko asks you to help her shop for some underwear, though she later ends up embarrassing herself by mistaking her newly bought panties as a handkerchief. She soon feels better after winning a massager from a raffle ticket, which came from a boys' love game. This one's bad.
Her poor parents.
Yeah. This is when you get a late-term abortion, I think.
Wow! Okay.
I'm just saying, has anyone read Unwind?
Unwind?
There's
No.
a book, there's a young adult novel in the United States. I don't know how popular it is overseas. It's called Unwind by Neil Shusterman, and it's basically this really overcomplicated, awful diatribe against abortion by presenting a dystopian world where parents can elect to have their children aborted until age 18, where they will be, if the child is sent to be unwound, they are vivisected, and every part of their body is amputated while they are conscious, and then donated to other medical recipients.
Okay.
Why does that feel like a Republican's wet dream for propaganda?
Point is, if ever there were a candidate, Tomoko Watamote should be unwound.
That's a bit harsh, man.
Change my view.
Oh, I'm just a complete...
Wait, you're saying you would like to abort Tomoko?
Yep, absolutely.
I mean,
With no nuance
this
at all, that is my view.
Okay, first off, Fire King, say what you want to say. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Oh, I'm trying to think of what you would classify me as. I'm someone who's like almost completely anti-violence. There's only like a handful of people I actually think that need to be either killed or removed from society. And one of those people was Elon Musk, for obvious reasons.
And one of those people is Tomoko Watamote.
I haven't seen that yet, so I can't actually say that.
Well, part of why I say this is because it would be a mercy. It would be good for her.
She can still learn. She's not Elon Musk. She's still in high school, and her brain can still learn.
There's a chance.
No. I don't think the chance is big enough to justify the suffering.
You know what I always find funny about the first part of this episode with the erotic dreams?
Yeah. Tell me.
I always find it so funny how it's so obvious what the problem is. You can literally see it right there with it just saying, like, yeah, it'll restrict the oxygen to your brain, so it's gonna go fucking crazy and try and figure shit out. And at no point can she put the pieces together and realize, oh, maybe I should stop doing this. But she wants erotic dreams so bad. She forgot what porn is. It's so sad.
I don't know. There's a difference.
I don't think she did. I mean, I think the series might even imply that she watches porn in class.
Well, I mean, the main thing is that she recognizes what the problem is. She knows the solution and refuses to take it.
Can we just talk about the dream itself for a second? Because it is legitimately terrifying.
Bugs.
Okay.
Bugs.
What is she doing to get these dreams?
Sleeping on her stomach.
With her head stuffed directly into the pillow.
Oh, okay. Air asphyxiation.
Yeah, that sounds pretty stupid when you say it that way. But anyway, the content of the dreams themselves, if I remember right, is her being on some kind of field. There's flowers and butterflies, and it's all nice until suddenly bugs everywhere.
It's not just that; it's that all of these things that are so nice turn into their kanji. Which is really scary to me, and I don't know why. Just like you're surrounded by all these like Unicode characters, knowing that you're supposed to be feeling good because you're laying in a field looking up at the clouds, but you're seeing flower, 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 cloud, cloud, cloud. It's like that episode of SpongeBob where Squidward is laying on his back at the white void saying, alone. It's really scary. And then bugs.
I mean, but like the fields... Oh, wait, so you find the first part where it's just like the kanji representing the actual objects? You find... So even before it turns into bugs, you're saying it's scary because it's all kanji?
It wouldn't be scary if the bugs didn't happen. But because the bugs happen, the first part is retroactively scary.
And then you say the first part is retroactively scary because everything is kanji.
Yeah, it's unsettling in a really like, I don't know, a deep way. It hits me somewhere that I don't like being hit. Maybe it's just me.
I think I can kind of understand where
Mhm.
you're coming from. I don't know if I feel the
It's
exact
like it's
same way.
messing with my brain's computer code.
Mhm.
Yes, the groin tresson. That's right.
The punchline of the whole chapter is hilarious, though. I
That-
mean, the teacher just
oh.
ignores her.
Again, when I was talking about this show with Mariah's friend who came to visit, it's like, yeah, it has one of the most uncomfortable scenes in all of anime, and he had seen like part of episode 4 at this point, and he said like, oh, does she get caught masturbating or something? I'm like, no, worse. Well, that also happens.
That also happens.
Oh wait, you count being caught having erotic dreams as masturbating?
No, I'm counting the end of this episode. I know that's not what's happening, but it may as well have been. That isn't what was happening, and that's worse. Like,
Oh wait, but I mean, I never understood the scene at the end of the episode as being about her masturbating. I think I always understood it as her not understanding what a massager is supposed to be for.
yes. No,
So he
that's
just
exactly
uses
what's
massage
happening with
videos.
her. And then
Yeah.
her dad walks into the room and she's unconscious with a personal massager and a porn game. You think he's thinking, oh yeah, her shoulders were super stiff.
I mean, I wouldn't. If I was her dad, I wouldn't think she was masturbating because she still has her pants on, and she's asleep. That's how I would
Okay.
do it anyway.
But I do love that he just picks her up and puts her in bed.
With the worst face.
Mhm.
And you know what? I gotta say, personal massagers aren't that bad when they're used for their intended purpose.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, Watamote getting some love. Thank you, Enol Blue. That's very generous of you. I
Thank you
appreciate
for the
it.
$5. Sorry, we only accept stuff in Belgium money.
You mean euros?
Yeah, that thing.
That one.
That one.
She has the massager next to her groin. I don't think that's true. I think it's
No, it's
like,
just
off to
on the floor
side.
next to
Yeah.
her. And
but-
the real problem was that she was playing a porn game. So she was
No,
playing
like-
Fire Emblem. She was playing Fire Emblem Fates.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Dad just looks down at this and he's like, "Well, this may as well happen." I don't really want to talk about Tomoko's obsession with getting molested.
We have to talk about it.
We have to
somewhat
bring it up.
going
Like,
ahead.
I will say, when this trope is done right, I think it's hilarious. Like in Always Sunny and Shameless, they both do this arc where someone learns that like their basketball coach was molesting the whole team, and they're like, "But he didn't molest me. What's wrong with me? Why didn't I get molested?"
I have some unique things to say, I think, on this
Okay.
topic, so I was gonna bring it up anyway.
All right, sure.
Well, it's definitely, I mean, I actually 1000% understand the idea and the thought process of like, well, why didn't it happen to me?
Mm-hmm.
Because like, okay, brief story real quick. Imagine you're me, just leaving from a haircut, getting some Starbucks because you're a white girl,
Sure.
and you walk down the street and you get fucking catcalled in fucking 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how like horrifyingly gratifying that is,
I can
at
only
the same
imagine.
time awful?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, I guess it's a part of the Tomoko mentality.
Well, like, that said, you have a different experience here. As a trans girl, someone who has socialized male for a very long time, there's the validation that I assume cis men on the side of the road think that you're attractive. Which is a validation thing because it enforces femininity.
It is, and that's sort of the fucked up scary part that I understand is just like you want you want your femininity validated,
Mhm.
and I've heard that even just like cis women can feel that sometimes.
Well, of course. Like, obviously not to say that this makes it okay in any way, but for somebody who is used to getting absolutely no attention and believing that they are not worthy of, or believing that they are not the kind of person who can attract another person's eye, I absolutely see that even unsolicited attention would be validating, no matter how bad it is. So no, I understand this from Tomoko's point of view, because to her it's just another form of rejection, that she isn't even attractive enough to be a victim. Like, the
But
thing
it's
about
fucked up her
Watamote,
thought process went there.
the thing about Watamote that makes it difficult to recommend, I'll say, is that it's not actually funny. Like,
What do you mean not actually funny?
things happen that make me laugh, but they are not funny things. They're very sad things. The reason I laugh pretty much exclusively is because I can't believe this is happening. You know what I mean?
You're going
guess
through a
it's not
defense
really-
mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
that
don't know, I
sense of
feel like-
comedy through tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe that's just not how I feel because, like, at least this rewatch, I didn't really cringe at anything because I already have seen it 3 times before, so
Yeah.
I knew when everything was coming. But I still found it pretty funny.
Yeah, like,
So,
I mean, it is
I don't know.
a comedy. It's meant to make you laugh, and it presents things
Yeah.
in a way that evokes laughter. But the things that are happening are not funny.
Oh yeah, I guess in that sense, I think I can
It's
understand.
like Little Shop of Horrors. I don't know if you've seen that, Tenek.
No.
But Little Shop of Horrors is this campy criticism of capitalist greed that I've performed in Little Shop of Horrors twice on stage. And the thing that I love about that show is that it starts as this absurd dark comedy, and halfway through, it stops being a comedy. It's just absurd and dark. And you don't notice because the transition is so easy and
It's buttery
so
smooth.
insidious almost. You don't realize that you've stopped laughing until you leave the theater.
Right.
And Watamote is sort of that same way. You keep laughing throughout, but it has that same vibe where everything that's happening is just uncomfortable and sad. And you try to explain the comedy to someone. And it's difficult, because unless you've been in Tomoko's head for 4 episodes, you don't understand why a girl saying, "Why didn't I get molested?" is funny.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You're completely
Mhm.
right about that. Just the way that, like, Yu-chan reacts like a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no has to lie about being molested, and then Yu-chan is like, oh my god, are you
That's
okay?
horrible.
That's horrible.
Makochi? And
Is
then
your-
the whole scene where she goes underwear shopping with you, it's so vulnerable and cringy and awkward and sweet.
I feel like that's probably like, I don't know. I feel like if I were to list all the chapters covered in the anime, that would probably be near the lower end of like the cringiest, the least cringy.
It's much more relatable, I think. Much more real.
Do elaborate.
I'm not sure I can. But a lot of the stuff that Tomoko thinks and does is over the top, in a way that it never gets unrealistic or unbelievable. It's just on the higher end of cringe, and this is much more on the lower end, which makes it hit a little bit more for me personally.
Mhm. Okay, but sorry, I feel like I have to ask: did you ever do anything like this, but just instead of panties, it was for some other object that you thought would help you get recognition, even though it obviously wouldn't if you thought about it for a second?
I don't think so. I remember going to Goodwill once to get like dress shirts in an effort to improve my style. I never wore them though. But no, I never went with like a friend. No, like through my whole incel forever alone journey, I always recognized that I was the problem and my environment was the problem. So I never dealt with anything like this. I support women's rights and I also support women's wrongs. Excellent. Yeah, then there's the second cringiest scene in the whole thing, where she wins her personal massager and then massages her person.
Her face.
Her neck and shoulders. As you do.
As you do.
As you do.
Other stiff parts.
Mm-hmm. But only the stiff ones. Episode 6. Oh,
Episode
5.
6.
Episode 5.
Wait. Yeah, I thought I was like jumping over a bit fast.
No, we're skipping 5. We already determined it now, apparently.
Yep. Since I'm not popular, I'll boost my skills. Tomoko attempts to become popular by playing a cool silent character, but it does not play out how she would have hoped. Later, she tries to get some photo stickers taken of her, though she is less than pleased with the results. The next day, in an attempt to improve her social skills, Tomoko contemplates taking up a job as a cabaret girl and decides to practice lighting cigarettes and mixing drinks. However, she becomes less eager when she travels to the red light district the following night.
Oh, man.
This one is so visual.
This one is just
Oh,
like...
seriously.
I see this girl just at the red light district, just like about to fucking break down into tears, and I'm like, girl, I fucking get it.
Yep.
To me, this is the episode where she hits her most like relatable side of herself.
This is also basically rock bottom for her emotionally. I would love to say this is the point where she starts looking up, but she hits rock bottom in episode 5 and then plateaus for like 9 episodes.
7.
Yeah. 7 is like 9.
Wait, but what do you mean it's rock bottom? What in this episode happens that you think is rock bottom?
The part where she's standing at the red light and gets assaulted by the 2 sex robots on the back of the truck, and then is completely frozen in time as the camera spins around her and all she can do is mutter, scary, scary, scary. Yeah, I think that's emotional rock bottom for her.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, yeah, she does cringier things, and there are socially worse situations, but I don't think she ever feels worse than she does in that moment. Just the way she is so completely overwhelmed and frozen when she is put into the deep end of the thing that she thinks she wants. Yeah, this is an incredible narrative moment.
Yeah.
And it starts with the very good joke of her wanting to be the alien from Haruhi Suzumiya.
Yeah, probably the best example of her of like the cheapness of her stupid schemes to get popular.
Mm-hmm.
The most important lesson of all to anyone in life: if you base your personality off of an anime, people won't like you.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought maybe the more direct message was quiet characters don't work if they don't have someone who's going to interact with them on principle.
I mean, that's really Tomoko's like biggest problem, is that she doesn't understand that she needs to actually interact with people in order to interact with people.
Yeah, like
she just kind of assumes that people will flock to her because they're all NPCs in her world.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
it's not that difficult, Tomoko. The people around you seem very nice. Just stop calling them sluts and bimbos in your head.
Yeah,
Go to
they
karaoke.
really are just like the most like nice, normal people around. And then Tomoko's like, God, I wish these people would fucking die.
Fucking normies.
And they're also the people that she wants friendship with. Because who else would it be?
Losers online. I mean, I think actually
Losers
I
online.
believe I mentioned this before, but I found it kind of odd that like we never see her even try to socialize with people online,
Mm-hmm.
or like even give a reason as to why that's a no-go.
Well, she does the stream, but that's not the same thing.
I mean, she considers doing it and then like backs off before it could happen because that was all in her imagination, right?
No?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think it becomes clear near the end that she like gets a lot more attention and like comments flooding in than would be realistic, and then she backs off. But then we see a shot of the monitor and her backing off from the start streaming button or something. I think all of that kind of implies it.
I missed it.
Yeah. But yeah, at any rate, what I think we see her make a forum post once that no one replies to.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Tomoko doesn't really have any internet presence.
No. But it doesn't seem like she suffers from social anxiety on the internet. Like she did make that post after all.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't this also like back in 2003, or because this is based off a manga a little bit before that?
The
When
manga
you
is from 2011, so
Oh.
these things definitely were staples at that point.
Began serialization in 2011.
Yeah, and was airing in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe we should stay focused on what episode 5. That's what we're doing, right?
Yeah, if we have anything else we want to say about it, it's pretty straightforward. Tomoko wants to be a kudere and then realizes that kudere only work when people talk to them.
Yeah.
And then she decides, I'm going to be a cabaret girl to practice socializing, when you can just practice socializing. Like, I get that it's not that easy, but you don't have to get a job in the seedy underground of Tokyo to practice talking to people.
Hey, the best way to teach a child to swim is just throw them into water.
Tomoko would drown.
Worth a try.
Episode 6.
Sure.
Since I'm not popular, I'll go see the fireworks. After noticing she looks somewhat cuter following the night of playing otome games, Tomoko believes that she can grow even more cute by constantly playing erotic games, though unbeknownst to her, she is only becoming greasier and not bathing. Later, after accidentally spraying herself with soda, she believes she is getting looks from other boys who are actually noticing the ants crawling all over her body as a result. The next day, Tomoko tries to find people who'd go to the fireworks with, to no avail. As Tomoko decides to go alone to an abandoned rooftop to watch the fireworks, she is joined by a pair of schoolboys and ends up watching a very different kind of fireworks with them.
If you know what I mean.
Watching a very different kind of fireworks is a link. Where does that go? It goes to the article for voyeurism.
That's fucking funny.
You go, Wikipedia editor, whoever you are. All right. I really like that scene a lot at the end. I mentioned it in one of my videos, but where she goes to the rooftop to look at fireworks and then is again distracted by sex. It's good writing. Not much more to say about it.
Wait, okay. What do you think is amazing writing about her watching people have sex at a hotel with what, elementary school boys, maybe middle schoolers?
The elementary school boys are irrelevant, except that, I mean, that's just the kind of person who would do that. But I think that the important thing about that scene is that this entire time, Tomoko has seen sex as the thing that is going to, like, make her life fulfilling, whether it's a goal in and of itself or sex is going to make her friends or whatever. She equates sex with romance a lot, and basically sees it as just the thing that's going to make her life worthwhile. And she decides for... Let me do a quick scan of these episodes I've seen so far. Weather's bad. See my old friend. Change my image. Okay. I don't think she's had any significant goals so far that are not related to sex.
Well, I mean, she wants to be popular, she wants to have a boyfriend and have sex. I guess I
All
would
of
say
that
that's
is
the
sexual in her
triad.
head.
I mean, having friends is not sexual. Like, she fantasizes about just having normal female friends.
Sure, but I
And-
mean, like, tangible goals. Things that she wants to do. Like,
Have friends? I mean, is having friends an intangible goal? I don't see
I
the...
mean, specific actionable things.
Okay, in episode 12, she fantasizes about
That's
going...
episode 12. We're on episode 6.
Okay. God damn it. What am I supposed to say?
Like, again, I'm just looking at these synopses, but she wants to become a cabaret girl, which is a sex thing. She wants to get molested, which is a sex thing. She wants to have erotic dreams, which is a sex thing. Wants to buy new underwear. Regardless, whether it's the first time or not, it's very rare for Tomoko to have goals that do not directly relate to sex. And in this episode, the entire point is she wants to find somebody to go see the fireworks with. Because that's a normal summer thing. This is something that high school people do that is not sex-related at all. So she tries her hardest to find somebody, and she can't. And she decides to do it by herself, which I think is a very important step forward for her. Because I feel like normally Tomoko would just go home and skip it. Play video games all day, which I think that she brings up doing before deciding to watch it on her own. She goes to the rooftop thinking, like, this will be a fine view for me and me alone. And she is joined by people, which is exactly what she's fantasized about for this entire time, is people coming to her and flocking to her to do activities with her. So she has people to watch the fireworks with. And then, just as the first firework goes off, she misses it because she is watching these people in a hotel have sex instead. Which is just such a good metaphor for her situation, because you have this beautiful thing that's happening that has nothing to do with sex that she could have enjoyed on her own. But instead, I really like the words that Warp Speed just used in chat. I misread it real quick. I thought that you said the spectacle of maturity, and I liked that a whole lot. She sees, like, these trappings of mature adult life in front of her, and she is so attracted and magnetized to that she misses the thing that she has spent the entire episode looking forward to, and decides to watch that instead. It's just such a thematically important episode.
Yeah, I think you're right. I didn't see it that way. I didn't actually consider that. Oh yeah, she's actually not watching the fireworks by the end of the show.
She's watching a very different kind of fireworks. Hee hoo hoo hoo.
Ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha. So yeah, I talked about this in my second Watamote video, but yeah, this is such a thematically important episode. And there's also the shit with the ants, which is very funny.
That happens in this episode.
Mm-hmm. In Mr. Point's video, the line that stuck with me was about how sex is distracting her from the fireworks. Yeah, okay, I just explained that. what was the episode where she meets the voice actor? That's later. All right, we're up to date with chat. Okay. Episode 7?
Sure.
Since I'm not popular, I'll enjoy summer vacation. After spending several days doing nothing but playing games, reading manga, and browsing the internet, Tomoko comes to the realization that she is wasting the summer vacation. To alleviate this, Tomoko buys a webcam in the hopes of becoming an internet personality, only to back out under the pressure. Later, she discovers that she has a ticket enabling her to meet an Otome game voice actor and request a line from him. After spending the whole night looking up what to make him say, she ends up cracking under pressure when she finally meets him, resulting in a very weirdly jumbled request. She attempts to mix it with her own voice to form a dubious dialogue, which her mother ends up listening to.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, probably not the most realistic part of the show, but I found it probably one of the funniest parts.
That is one of the funniest scenes in anime.
If I was that mom, I would just be like, "Okay, we're taking you to a therapist."
You ugly sow. Don't worry, just kidding. I love you, Tomoko.
But
I like how they did it, though. Like, yes, the reaction is completely unrealistic. But that's fine because it's hilarious. But I like how they had the jack plugged into the microphone instead of the headphones. That could absolutely happen. And it also explains why it's so loud. Because she turns up the volume. So that it sounds like it's a normal volume because her headphones are blocking out a lot of the sound.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, this is absolutely something I can see her doing. I realize I say that a lot, but it's just because it seems like there's not much that's beyond Tomoko. Everyone in line was jealous. I think jealous and horrified at the same time. I love the reaction of every other woman in line looking at Tomoko like, oh, God.
Going hard, I see.
But you get the horrified reaction, but you have to imagine that there's just a bit of jealousy there. It's like, man, I wish I could be that confident.
Yeah, like that I could get the voice actor to say so much stuff.
Mm-hmm. Like, because you know that they're holding back. But no, and the voice acting that Tomoko does in her little mixtape is hilarious. Perfect delivery by the voice actress. No, you can't do that. Stop. I'll hit you.
Yeah, so stilted.
Mm-hmm. It's incredible. And then the still frame that goes on for like a minute and a half while we're just watching this. Like, no, God, stop. Make it stop. I want to say that if they had not zoomed in on the cord and Tomoko's face, and they had just left it at that, and had the mom close the door, like, I know that that's the basic way that this is always done, but God, there's a reason for it. Yeah, I just feel like the scene would have been better if they had left it at that.
Like, I mean, I'm not trying to understand, because it will be unclear whether she actually heard.
No, it wouldn't. No, it would not.
Wait,
First,
but the...
Tomoko's headset is off for that frame, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But also, like, just the reaction where Tomoko's mom just standing there while this plays, and then closing the door after it's done. It's very clear. Sometimes having no filter gets unexpectedly satisfying results. Sometimes. But I also really like the mom's just, dinner is ready, please come down and eat it. Or whatever she says.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Does her mom say anything about the actual contents of the mixtape?
No, of course not. What would you
Oh.
say?
What could you
Well,
say?
probably what Scrub said. Tomoko, we need to talk, or Tomoko, I'm gonna help you get a therapist, something to that extent.
You don't say anything in the moment. You just,
Dinner is
ready?
ready.
Goodbye.
Goodbye forever.
Goodbye. No, what you say the next time you see them in private, you say, so we're going to have a talk about this. And then tomorrow, we're going to forget that this and the talk both happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, can I bring up something important that I think shows up in this episode that I think showed up in like one of the earlier episodes as well? So we already talked about Tomoko, I don't know, being kind of glorifying or valorizing being abused sexually.
Yeah.
And I mean, before, at least I think it made sense in that, being groped presents some form of social recognition.
Mm-hmm.
But we also see that's actually contained in her fantasy. So,
Yeah.
like earlier, we see her have these kinds of, I don't know if it's right to say, some kind of shonen fantasy, where she would get naked and then have her mana drained out.
Mm-hmm.
And then this time we see it through this voice actor that has to say all this abusive stuff.
Yeah. All this abusive stuff, and also, Tomoko, I love you, you're so pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
no,
I don't know.
Tomoko does absolutely have major sub vibes.
I think that's it. It's just she's a sub. End of story.
I mean, I think that could be the end of the story. I don't think there has to be more to it. Like, she has degradation fantasies, and that can just be the end of it. I think if you want to relate it to all of her anxiety and social issues, there's definitely an argument to be made. Like, she sees people. What she always worries about in a social interaction is that people are going to think that she is strange and that they're going to be mean to her. And I think that manifesting as kink is both very interesting and very common. So, I don't know. I don't think it has to be related. I personally find it more interesting if it's not related. But that's just me. I also think that part of her, we'll just say part of her attitude towards sex probably comes from the fact that this is what her mind defaults to.
Yeah.
A bit of her needing to feel like a passive party because she can't feel like an active one without risking embarrassment. That's cool. That's a really interesting way to take that. We don't actually ever see her initiating sex in her fantasies, do we?
No, of course not.
I don't
Right,
think so.
why would she ever initiate anything anywhere?
Isn't the fact that she's a woman meant to be that all the guys will just naturally come to her?
Mm-hmm.
That's what anime told her.
No, fair enough.
I guess that's part of her
you
fantasy.
say that, but also she plays all of these Otome and BL games where the protagonist is always a woman probably sometimes a man in the BL games. But the protagonist is always the person who is going out and choosing a partner.
Yeah, but those don't count.
Those don't count. Okay, I'm sorry.
Those don't count in her
How
mind.
can I be so naive?
No, I literally mean they would not count in her own mind.
Sure.
She would try to ignore them the best because they basically reject what her own ideals are.
Right. It's
The
confirmation.
ideal is that. Right. So you're saying she because the only way she can imagine getting out of her predicament is by basically other people getting her out of it by just flocking to her, then that manifests sexually as her just imagining someone being very, I guess, active and maybe even aggressive
dominant
towards her.
Yeah, well, I think it more than someone else manifesting as aggressive, it manifests as her being passive, like Peace said in chat.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's not always that somebody is being, like, forceful with her. Like, the scene in the bakery with the guy licking the cream off her cheek and dousing her in fondant.
Yeah.
That's not particularly aggressive. Like, we have someone who's, like, confident in the situation, and there's obvious porn logic going on. But, like, the dude's not being mean about it. But she still is not an active participant. She's just being licked.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that as this still like a part of that aggressive fantasy, because I mean, like, why would you actually pour fondant? I don't know what you called it, fondant on someone. Like, that's obviously extremely abnormal and disrespectful to just muddy someone like that.
I guess so, but like, I don't know. Food kink is a kink. People like it. I don't get
So you
it.
think this might be that might be showing that Tomoko has a food kink as well?
I don't think so. I think, well, we don't see it in other places. I think that her brain just created a scene and then weird things happened and she went with it. Like, yeah, it's a bakery. What's in a bakery? Frosting. Yeah, there would be frosting involved.
Yeah, and then she also imagines that someone pours the frosting or
all over.
Yeah, whatever you called it. Over her. Yeah, and I feel like that says something about her mindset and her kind of screwed up standards of I guess love.
I don't think that scene is that deep. I think that one is just played for laughs. Like, what kind of sexy things would happen in a bakery? Well, I don't know, but they sure would involve frosting.
Naturally, who wouldn't want to have frosting
like
put all over their face and hair?
Okay, sex scene. I, passive girl, would be covered in something. What would that be? Bakery, frosting. Guy covers me in frosting, and we'll just end the scene there. I'll figure it out later. God, people are gonna clip that all to hell. I'm so glad nobody watches these streams. Very tactful. Thank you, Warp Speed. Episode 8, or do we have more to say about Tomoko's fantasies?
I don't know. Maybe not for now. Maybe it'll come up later as well.
Princess, yes, I do hate to tell you this, but you're nobody.
Yes, you're just like Tomoko.
I guess we do have an influx of new people who probably came because Watamote is fairly popular and because the Blue Lock video just came out. Which,
yeah.
By the way, I know I've told you all this in the Discord, but the Blue Lock video is doing so well, and I'm so happy about it.
Thank you, everyone here who's been doing your part in watching the Blue Lock video. I assume all of you.
The Blue Lock video. It was a shit ton of work. There was somebody, only one person, thank God, but there was somebody who said, like, this video is so unresearched. Like, I read a book. What do you mean I read a book?
Reading's hard.
I read a whole book. Somebody did make a very valid criticism, and they said, like, you read Dr. Stanley's book, but you really should have read, like, Mussolini and Hitler. Because they're the people who were the progenitors of this ideology. You only read sources from the outside, and you should have read from the inside. I'm like, okay, that's very fair and valid. I talk about cartoons on the internet. I am not a political historian.
But it would be cool.
No, you're right. I absolutely should have read Mussolini and Hitler for that video. It took long enough to produce as it is. I needed a synopsis. not a like deep historian's understanding of things, which resulted in an imperfect video, but one that was good enough. Anyway, episode 7?
Episode 7.
8. We're on 8.
8.
Political historian who also makes videos about anime in his spare time. No, don't even make that joke. I'm not an expert on anything, not even anime. Since I'm not popular, I'll put on airs. Tomoko grows anxious when she learns her cousin Ki is coming over, feeling she needs to look like a bitch in order to back up her prior fabrications of a relationship. I feel like that's from the sub translation, because that wasn't something she said in the dub at all. Speaking of, before I keep doing this, who watched the sub and who watched the dub?
I watched the sub this time.
Okay.
I think I watched the dub one of the times I watched it
Yeah, I
before.
should have watched the sub this time, but like I said, Mariah's friend was here and we needed something on for background noise. Scrub?
Yeah.
Sub or dub?
Dub.
Dub. The dub is so good.
Dub
Anyway.
is very fucking good.
Feeling she needs to look like a bitch in order to back up her prior fabrications of a relationship, she attempts to cover her body with vacuum cleaner hickeys, only to be scolded by her mother. While taking Ki to the library, Tomoko meets Kosaka, one of the boys who she met while sheltering from the rain the other day, who Ki assumes to be Tomoko's boyfriend. The next day, they see him with another girl, prompting Ki to confront him and bringing Tomoko's bluff to light. With Ki's impression of her waning, Tomoko attempts to restore her faith by showing off her prowess in a children's card game. After witnessing Tomoko cheat against a little boy, Ki starts to pity her instead of looking up to her. Chat went wild. Blue Lock video felt like it expected the viewer to have read or watched Blue Lock, not that detracted from the quality of the video, just not... Yeah, it did. Like, I guess the Blue Lock video should have been a bit of an exception, but for the most part, whenever people in the comments say, like, especially when they call me out for spoiling the thing, it's like, why are you watching an analysis video of something you haven't seen? The video was made under the expectation that people had seen Blue Lock. But you're right, it shouldn't have been. That should have been an exception. Scrub getting cut off. You don't get a lot from reading Mussolini and Hitler. They say a few interesting things, but so much of what they say is just stupid and not very helpful to understanding them. I believe it. Tomoko cheating. Don't say cheating on little kids. That's not right. Okay.
Incorrect buzzer noises.
Incorrect preposition there. But I don't know what the right one is. I think just cheating little kids. With is certainly not correct. Against. Probably against. The vacuum cleaner hickeys are hilarious.
That's such a stupid idea, too. Like,
Yep.
who would look at those and think, yeah, that definitely is from a human kissing her?
Someone who doesn't know what the marks from human kisses look like. That's who.
I guess that's fair.
This poor kid just like, oh wow, she's so cool, and then just no.
She's really cute, Mom.
She's look at her. She's trying.
She's adorable. Ki-chan is another really good character. I know that she doesn't have much characterization of her own, but the way Tomoko interacts with her hits me so hard. The idea that Tomoko wants someone to look up to her is very real, and that she's willing to lie about her life. She's willing and able to lie about her life to Ki-chan to make it happen is really sad and funny. But the fact that she has this young person who looks up to her and that she is able to lie about her life and therefore she does, it just fits so well with her character. And then watching her cheat at magic.
It's so petty. It's like the pettiest thing she does in the entire show.
It's petty enough that she tries to impress Ki by showing her how good she is at magic.
Yeah, exactly. That makes it even more petty.
Mm-hmm. And then she cheats. Like, I don't care what the game is. Like, if it's chess or League of Legends or whatever, trying to impress someone who is not into that game by saying, "Hey, I'm really good at this game, come watch," is pathetic. Like,
Yeah.
I
And then
You
guess,
don't understand. You haven't seen me play Overwatch.
Mhm.
I'm so good at it.
I guess physical sports get a pass, but that's only because we've been doing them for thousands of years.
Hmm.
Even then, it's kind of
Even
iffy.
then, a little bit like, okay, you can kick a ball in a net. So? Tomoko
And I
stays
mean-
the queen that way. She loves that title, loves that status.
And I mean, if I remember right, Kichan sees, like, she recognizes that she cheated.
Of course.
So, yeah.
No,
It didn't even avoid her eyes.
Key makes
Then
a
she
big
just,
deal
like-
out of it. She's like, "What? Why are you cheating against these children?" Yeah,
And
that's...
then,
And then they go home and she's just traumatized from this whole experience. Like, oh man, Tomoko Ne-chan is not who I thought she was.
I didn't see it that way. I saw it more as initiating, like, a turn where, like, Kichan obtains this kind of saintly motivation to help Tomoko no matter what. Like, she sees
It's true.
Tomoko as this kind of almost helpless puppy. I'm not
Mhm.
sure if she makes that comparison.
No,
And yeah.
Go ahead.
yeah, she sees her as this kind of helpless puppy, and she is there. She has the duty now to help her, I don't know, try and fix that somehow. And I think that pretty much remains for the rest of the
Mhm.
series.
Sure, but all of that comes after her sitting on the edge of Tomoko's bed with the Vietnam stare.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the confusion with Kosaka. I say confusion. The lie about Kosaka is incredible. And Key being a bro here. Like, on the one hand, you say, like, okay, Tomoko said that they were seeing other people and it's fine. Don't get involved. It's not your business. But also, Key's saying, like, no, man, he's cheating on you. You're clearly not okay with this. Someone's got to confront him and you're not going to do it. So I'm going to do it. Like, I don't know. You can see it both ways. She gets a pass no matter what. She's like 8.
Yeah.
But, like, good for her.
Yeah, I mean, she does nothing wrong.
She does nothing wrong. Like, at the end of the day, if she goes up to Kosaka and says, hey, Tomoko doesn't like that you're seeing this other girl, he's like, oh, wait, it's actually okay. We've talked about it for these reasons. Or he's like, oh, well, thank you for telling me. Or he's like, mind your business, little girl. Like, no matter what happens, like, what are the consequences? What's wrong with saying it?
Tomoko is gonna get very embarrassed.
Yeah, well, Tomoko's lying is what's wrong with saying it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Kosaka's reaction, just like, what? What? You mean Momoko? I don't know Momoko. I've met Momoko
Tomoko.
twice.
I guess that's actually the funny thing, is that Tomoko could have just pretended, like she could have exploited the fact that he misheard her name to I don't know, evade the entire situation, but she doesn't.
Yep.
So I guess that counts for something.
Mm-hmm. No, Kosaka's also a bit of a bro. But anyway, episode 9?
Let's go.
9? Let's go. Since I'm not popular, summer will end. After Tomoko visits a fancy cafe where Yu is helping out, she decides to take up a job making cakes in hope of becoming trendy, only for it to turn out to be a not-so-glamorous factory job. Later, Tomoko's mother forces her to do some cleaning, where she finds an essay written years ago by Tomoki about how he used to admire his big sister. Afterward, dejected, Tomoko goes to watch a meteor shower alone, later kept company by a stray cat. Oh, I did forget to bring it up, but on the episode where she goes to see the fireworks, one of the funniest phrases of the entire show when she says, "Don't read if you're a slut."
What?
When-
Wait, that was in the fireworks episode?
Yeah, in the fireworks episode, when she's looking for a partner to go see the fireworks with, she sees that girl reading a book, and she's like, okay, cool, I'll just wait for her to be done reading her book. Clearly, anybody who's reading in the library this late in the year has to be a freak. And then these girls come up to talk to her. It's like, hey, we're ready to go. And Tomoko's like, she's a slut! Damn it! Don't read if you're a slut!
Yeah, I remember that. That's very funny. And very Tomoko.
So funny. Anyway, Tomoko assuming they'll eventually start dating so it won't be a lie for long. Yeah, I forgot about that. Because he was nice to her twice.
Yeah.
Alright. I
I'm gonna
love how
bounce.
when Tomoko has her plans with you and you says, oh, I can't, we'll have to do it later, Tomoko just assumes, like, oh no, she's done with me. I will never speak with her again. I've busted my chance. I threw away my shot.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I have to help my uncle in his cafe. You want to come? Not being able to pronounce any of the French words was very funny.
And like
That is true.
Yep.
If I remember right, there were like no descriptions for any of the desserts
Yep.
anyway, so
I
she
want-
was basically
I want this one. Yeah, it's like
this one's cheap.
the hilarious scene in the Starbucks. Just like, S is small, T, G, G, G.
Giant.
A giant. That was probably much funnier in the sub.
Giant.
Giant.
I mean, I don't think it makes a big difference.
Hmm.
It sounds.
It was
Just
probably
the
much
stupid.
funnier to a Japanese audience.
You think? Why?
I feel like it was probably more relatable. I don't know. Like, if Starbucks in Japan uses the STG system, I don't know, I feel like that's probably something that people have been through.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
I don't know, just vibes.
Yeah. Possible.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah, see ya.
See
Bye,
ya.
Tarkin.
Happy to have you here.
Yeah.
Gooby,
Sorry I
we'll
wasn't
miss
more
you.
active.
Gooby.
No, you're fine. You haven't seen Watamote.
Nope.
Your opinion means nothing.
Boom.
Be
It's always
gone.
true.
Got him. Okay, see ya. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I don't think
Anyway.
there's much to talk about in this episode.
I would like to make one remark that I really like. In the dub, the line about so like she's talking about curry and she mentioned something of the sort that life needs spice,
Mm-hmm.
and then she says sadly that she gets only the spice and cries.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the sub that's not dubbed, like she doesn't say that line, that's just flashed as text on the screen. But in the dub, I very clearly remember the voice actor saying it out loud. I think it's one of the best maybe lines in the whole show,
Mhm.
one of the best deliveries. I mean, if I can remember it right now from like my first viewing, I think that says a lot.
No, it's a good line. It's interesting that it wasn't said out loud in the sub. I never would have guessed that. That doesn't happen much.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I should have watched the sub this time, but I didn't really have the chance because I forgot I was supposed to watch this, but I got it done, don't worry. Okay, Mom, do you know anyone who makes cakes? Yeah, I do, actually.
Oh, that's so pathetic.
Yep.
I mean, okay, I understand not liking the factory setting, but like, come on, couldn't you have at least respected your mom and her friend enough to like just to stay there for one more week until the summer holiday ends?
Mm-hmm. No, Tomoko doesn't respect anybody, not even herself.
That's true. That's true.
I can understand having to leave if it like really pushes your anxiety super far.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just can't do it. You're just gonna be a burden on the workers there, or just anything else like that. But
Sure.
it really did seem like, she kind of just didn't want to do it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like, I absolutely did not get the impression that Tomoko was having constant anxiety attacks at work. She was a little bit miffed that it wasn't the glamorous cafe job that she wanted, and decided not to do it.
Yeah.
Like,
And then as like, hey, can you clean my room? You're a
Mhm.
mom. You're supposed to do that. And it's like, I felt so validated when she got her fucking like, she just got like shoved in a fucking closet and it's
Mhm.
just like, no, do your own goddamn work for once. Don't be so fucking stuck up.
like, never hit your children.
Never hit your children.
Never hit your children. But
Yeah, it's only in the realm of animation.
Mhm.
It is funny, but if you do it in real life,
oh, it wasn't funny. It was vindication.
oh yeah. That's why live action One Piece doesn't have Garp hitting Luffy's head, because that would look very bad if the actor started beating a child.
No, like, I don't remember what episode Tomoko's mom slaps her in. I think it's this one. But you could tell that had been coming for a while. No, she's just standing there looking down at her daughter like, yep, this is the day. This is the day it's going to happen.
I mean, I can definitely understand her mom, like,
Mhm.
just so disrespectful,
Yep.
like for no good reason.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, this is my kid, huh?
Don't
Well-
hit your kids, but like, God, I can only understand this from the mom's perspective.
Mhm. Like, if you've raised that, does it count as a human anymore?
Also, real talk for anybody listening who will listen, like, actually cooking your own lunches is very gratifying. I would recommend.
What? No, I hate making food. I wish I had a butler.
Same here. I don't mean to contradict Scrub. I'm sure that some people find cooking very gratifying. Mariah likes it a lot. It saps my energy like almost nothing else.
I don't know. To me, it's just tedious.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have to do it. And that's it. It's a waste of time otherwise.
Episode 10?
Episode 10.
Since I'm not popular, second term is starting. The second school term begins and Tomoko is still as unpopular as ever. Made worse that she is relocated into the center of class, she manages to find herself a secret spot among a pile of unused desks, and she can eat and play games in private during lunch breaks, but it is inevitably cleaned up. As the school prepares for the cultural festival, Tomoko contemplates starting her own club, but her application is denied due to being too vague. There's a lot of subtle stuff in this episode. I mean, subtle's the wrong word, but I love how she literally loses her main character status. Just, she sits in the main character seat in the back of the class by the window where things can happen, and then she is shoved into the middle of the class where the background characters sit, where everyone else is having conversations all around her, and someone actually says, "Oh, hey, Kuroki, nice to see ya. Happy to have you here. Please join our group."
These fucking assholes, why did they do this to me?
And I guess it's made funnier by the fact that they're doing exactly what she was fantasizing about the whole time.
And she can't. She just cannot bring herself.
Yeah, because obviously these people are supposed to flock to her. She can't join them because she can't join them.
Thoughts on Mushoku Tensei?
Oh, don't start it. Don't start it.
No, we can't do this.
Admiral Fang says they couldn't watch the anime. I will just say I also couldn't watch the anime. I forced myself through the anime. I'm gonna make a video about it. That's the next one. She inadvertently motivates people by insulting them. Isn't that how she became friends with voice actor girl? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm guessing that's manga
Well,
shit.
she's talking about the manga content.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, the problem in this episode is that she doesn't even manage to start up any kind of conversation. They just start talking to her, and she stays like shocked and silent.
Yep. No.
I guess frozen.
And again, you get this whole environment where people are nothing but polite to her. Like, they either don't interact with her at all, or they are perfectly welcoming to her and say, hey, come join our group, come do our thing. Or they pity her at the very worst. Like,
yeah.
She's so horrible.
Yeah. She's awful.
Mm-hmm. She does it to herself, but in a way that isn't unsympathetic. How can a story be so good but so unwatchable at the same time? You mean Mushoku Tensei or Watamote? Because there are different answers to those questions.
I mean, I feel like it definitely applies to Watamote.
Yep. No, that's why I ask. I didn't really love it. I kind of thought it was a waste of time. The school song over the dreamy montage of her club activities, I thought that was a little overlong and a little flat.
Yeah.
Nah, okay. I would disagree. I thought it was pretty funny.
I get it. I feel like it should have been in there. It just took up too much time.
I don't know. I would disagree because I mean, like, they had to have the ED anyway, and I think it really says a lot about how dedicated they were to the show. That they had like 3 special EDs at least.
Did they skip the ED in this episode? Because if they did, then I guess that's fine.
I mean, the normal ED, yeah. Wait, this is episode 10, right? And
yeah, this is 10.
Wait a minute. It says that episode 10 has a normal ED, so maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I was thinking that it was just an insert song over a montage of still frames.
Maybe. I would have to check it. Oh.
Either way, it felt like it just took up too much time. Like they were trying to fill their time slot. But I get it.
Yeah,
it was
right.
a fine scene, I guess. And I definitely understand Tomoko fantasizing about being in a club, which isn't something you have to fantasize about. You can join a club. You can be in a club.
Join a club. She tried.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad she couldn't think of anything actually important to do.
Yeah, she doesn't know what people do together.
I mean, maybe that's just another thing she got from anime, because she basically just imagines a do-nothing club.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just like another easy way to imagine socialization happening.
Yep.
Without having to put in any effort.
Yeah.
Like, just make a club, people come, and then you get friends. Easy peasy.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Oh yeah, I just checked. It is an insert song, and it does have the normal ED.
Yeah, it just felt overlong, a little boring. What I don't understand is why the school is accepting club applications. Oh, this is the start of term. Okay. That's fine then. I thought it was the end of term for some reason. And that's when the cultural festival happens. The song is great. Not complaining about the song. Reminds me a bit of the ending to Yuru Camp's first season, which is incredible. Episode 11?
Episode 11.
Episode 11. This is when Best Character shows up. Since I'm not popular, I'll participate in the cultural festival. Whilst trying to get involved with her class in the cultural festival preparations, Tomoko cuts her hand, but is helped out by this kind festival committee president, Megumi Imai. During the festival, Tomoko has little reason to enjoy herself, but nonetheless receives encouragement from Megami. The next day, Tomoko is visited by Yu, unsuccessfully trying to get an intimate hug from her, but still appreciating the time spent together. Noticing Tomoko visibly downhearted after Yu leaves, Megami borrows a mascot costume in order to anonymously give Tomoko a balloon and a comforting hug. So this episode should have been the end of it.
Yeah, this was nice.
Mhm.
Didn't really need another episode.
I don't understand why episode 12 exists.
Episode 12 is just kind of like a weird recap, retelling of the it's like trying to show how everything kind of looped into a circle.
Sure, I mean we can get to episode 12 when we get to episode 12. I just feel like all the important parts of episode 12 could have been in episode 11.
Yeah.
But yeah, Megumi Imai. Fantastic character. But mostly a prop, I think. Like,
Definitely.
fantastic from, like, what am I trying to say? From an analytics standpoint, I guess. She does good things for Tomoko's character. Most important panty shot in anime.
That's episode 12. We're gonna get to that.
Wait, really? Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Episode 12.
Could have happened in episode 11. But still, Imai's panties, most important panties in anime. Aside from, aren't there like magic panties in Kill la Kill or something?
No.
No, I think you're thinking of the suits they have.
Sure, why not?
The like Seifukus.
Did episode 12 seem like a setup for season 2? No, it was very much wrap up.
It was a wrap up, but like I said, it was just kind of a retelling of the first episode. Like it's going full circle. Hey guys.
I mean, they even give it like an anime only ending. I feel like they already knew that season 2 wouldn't happen at that point.
No, yeah, it's really just episode 11 ended on that high note of Tomoko really actually getting a friend, even though she didn't realize it. Because she's incapable of being smart.
So I will say, episode 11. All of her interactions with Yu in this episode. After this, I don't see... This is the one that really cements it. Why are people so baffled or so hesitant to say that Tomoko is into girls? Like, why do they say it like it's some kind of secret? She goes out of her way to touch her butt, and half of her goal in this episode is to hug Yu in such a way that their boobs rub together.
Something like that, yeah.
Like, she just says it out loud.
Yeah.
Like, I get that back in 2013, people might have been starving for some lesbian action in anime. But this is the year of our Lord 2023. We're 10 years on from that point. Like, you can just say, yeah, she says in the text that she is into girls.
Thirsting over her friend. I kind of...
Like, again, I think it's a little bit more complicated than just being a bisexual disaster. But it's not a secret. But yeah, Imai's in this episode. Imai's the one who puts on a bear suit, which allows Tomoko to take down her psychological walls for a second and accept a hug. Just got here. Is the manga longer and go past the anime, or does it end the same? The manga is still going, Thomas.
It's so much longer. It has it's
been
like
going
over
for 12
chapters.
years.
Yeah.
I haven't read it. I hear it's very good.
I can confirm. I would suggest it personally.
Yeah, I will probably read it someday. Just haven't gotten to it yet. Anyway, I think that this way of giving Tomoko some... I don't know if we can call her a friend, but some kind of positive social interaction by removing the humanity from it was very clever.
Yeah.
And works very well. Just seeing the vulnerability in Tomoko's face as she's, like, pulled into that hug. Just the absolute shock of it. I don't know. It's very nice. It feels good. And then this is the really cool stuff that happens with the ED that I mentioned in one of my videos, where she has the balloon.
Yeah.
She has the balloon.
She has the
I mean, I
balloon,
think
and
it's
really
even a
cool.
unique ED. Yeah. Episode 11 has a unique ED.
Sort of. I mean, it's the same one, except she has a balloon, and then she
I
walks
mean,
inside.
visually, it's similar to the normal one, but I'm saying the music track is different.
I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But yeah,
cultural festival happens. Tomoko starts getting better.
Peace Pope, I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but I think they make a good point about how like the bear costume makes it so that there is no sense of sexuality associated with the anthropomorphic bear.
Yeah, that's
He's
the.
able-
I think that's the point I made about it in my video. I don't know if I explicitly mentioned that the sexual tension was gone because it was a bear, but definitely removing the human element from everything
Yeah.
made a big difference. There's a difference between getting hugged by Freddy Fazbear and getting hugged by sexy Imai Megumi.
A part of me really wants to make some kind of shitty FNaF joke, but I'm gonna resist it.
Yeah? We'll just do a crossover fanfic of Tomoko in the observation room at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Speaking of, Mariah and I went to watch that movie. Well, we watched it streaming. It was
So we're at the point of the video. We're at the point of the live stream where we stop talking about Watamote and start talking about FNaF.
yeah, we are at the last hour of the live stream where we stop talking about whatever we were talking about and start talking about Five Nights at Freddy's instead. It's an institution.
I just realized that there's only like a 1 year gap between Watamote and FNaF, and that just feels bizarre to me.
One of those like Cleopatra was born closer to the modern day than the pyramids kind of things.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like that should be true. Feels like the return of her innocence, shedding Tomoko's insecurity and stuff. Not shedding. That implies it goes faster than it does. But nah, her walls get a little bit lower. They don't come down.
There's a slight molting of a cicada, which is a visual theme that it happens in a lot of episodes, really.
Yeah, I feel like it was mostly the summer vacation one, which watching the cicada get eaten by ants was such a good motif.
Yeah.
Yep.
But wait, what happens with the cicada in episode 11? I didn't notice anything.
Yeah, I don't remember a cicada in 11, but I know what you're talking about. Metaphorically speaking. If you're talking, we can't hear you.
Cool.
I don't think they are.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh.
Should we go on to episode 12? We've already mostly talked about it.
Yeah, we can just go to episode 12, talk
Cool.
about it. I mean, yeah, we pretty much did already talk about it.
Yeah, since I'm not popular, I'll think about the future. As Tomoko reflects on her cringeworthy yet uneventful past and thinks about the future, she views Megami as the kind of student she should aim to become. When a cockroach roams around the class, Tomoko kills it, hoping to be praised as a hero, only to leave class as a less desirable impression on her classmates. Later that day, Tomoko tries to initiate a conversation with Megami, but runs off after a blustery wind ruins the mood, not staying to hear Megami's words of praise about her. The episode ends with Tomoko dismissing the Mojio definition from the first episode as trivial, as she has apparently learned to be happy on her own terms rather than society's. The most important panty shot in anime.
Okay.
I will not
now,
be taking questions.
Please explain.
What?
Go ahead.
No, I was done.
Okay, so I mean, I feel like I have a couple of questions. So I don't know if you explain it in one of your analysis videos. It's been a while since I've seen them. But what about that seeing that panty shot, or what about seeing her panties made Tomoko want to run home? What was so shocking about it?
Oh, Imai's hot.
And that
Imai's hot.
Okay.
So the thing about it, from what I can tell, is that we are right at the cusp of Tomoko getting better. She's had this hug from the bear, and she is not consciously getting better yet, but she is putting her feet on that road. She has someone who has been nice to her. She doesn't know that Imai gave her the hug, but she knows that Imai helped her up in the hallway, took her to the nurse's office when she cut her hand, and just has generally been a good person around her. So she is walking up to Imai thinking, I want to thank her for being nice to me, because nobody else has ever done that. Disregarding all of the people who have done that. But she's walking up to Imai with the purest of intentions, wanting to make this very big step forward in her life and reach out to someone socially of her own volition. When this gust of wind happens and then suddenly, boom, sex is in her life again. It is enveloping her vision. All she can think about is this sexy, sexy panty shot that she's got right here. And suddenly Imai is not the person that she wants to talk to. Imai is, again, a sexual being who has all of these same complicated knots of issues wrapped up in her that everyone else does. And Tomoko, now that those thoughts have entered her head, breaks down. She cannot handle this situation anymore. It has become too complicated, and she runs.
So wait, if I understand your read, you're saying the problem is that Tomoko now, from Megumi's reaction to the gust of wind, has adjudged that she's not fit to take advice from?
No, nothing like that at all. She is no longer seeing... Let me back up. Let me just erase everything I've said real quick.
Okay.
We all
Go
know
ahead.
that Tomoko has an incredibly complicated relationship with sex. We all know
Yes.
that sex causes Tomoko extreme amounts of anxiety, in addition to everything else.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason she calls popular women sluts. It's because she associates sex with all of the scary things that she can't do that make people popular. That's all knotted up in her head. So,
Yeah.
with Imai, she has someone who has been nice to her, someone she has never lusted after, someone who seems to be an entry point into the world of being socially capable. And she wants to interact with Imai. She wants to reach out to her and say, hey, thank you for being nice to me. She doesn't have a sexual thought in her head, and it's one of the very few times in the series when that is true. She's incredibly anxious. This is a very vulnerable point for her. So she walks up to Imai, and she is about to make her statement, when suddenly, gust of wind, she sees Imai's backside, and the innocent and vulnerable feelings that she was having toward this person are eclipsed with all of the sexual thoughts that she has not been having so far. Everything that she was thinking about Imai that made her feel comfortable going to her is now tied up in that same sexual knot as everything else. There's the sudden unexpectedness of it, of seeing Imai's underwear, that just shocks her a little bit, unsettles her. And it doesn't change her opinion of Imai at all. It just conflates this situation with this big knot of anxiety that she's had for a very long time now, when previously it was separate from it. And that's happening so fast and so suddenly, she can't handle it. She just breaks down instead and runs. Not
Because
to mention, like...
Okay, go ahead.
This is just like a supplementary thing, but I think it's important that the underwear that Imai's wearing are not just like plain white cotton panties. Like, they're cute. Which is something that we had a whole scene in an episode about it, of Tomoko talking about cute panties. And like wearing slutty underwear. I think that seeing any amount of personality in Imai's underwear reminds her, like, hey, other people think about this stuff. It's this entire complicated social net. And I think that makes her very unsteady. I don't want to say uncomfortable, but it's distressing. I don't. Warp says that Megumi's reduced to a sex object. I don't think that's true. I think it's more of a collision of two things that Tomoko had kept in different boxes until this point. Yeah, it was just the unexpected inclusion of sexuality in what had previously been one of the very few platonic parts of her social life that makes her distressed. If that makes sense. Cool, love that.
Yeah.
Right. So you're saying basically just because Tomoko in general doesn't feel comfortable with sexuality, like she doesn't know how to handle it emotionally, and that's why she breaks down and just runs home.
Mostly, yes. Again, I think it's mostly that she wasn't expecting this to be a sexual situation. She had completely separated this from sex in her mind, which is why she was comfortable, which is why she was able to do it. And then sex was just suddenly present in a way that she didn't expect it to be. I don't know, like, imagine if it were some other shocking thing. Like, I don't know, Imai just started yelling racial slurs at her or something. Then there would be that same cognitive, like, clash of something unexpected and shocking happening at the same time as something that she expected to be pure and wholesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the unexpectedness that was the big reason she reacted the way she did, I think. And
do you think that ties in any way to the ending, like, scene of the anime where she looks at the definition and scoffs at it? It felt like that's kind of disconnected.
It does. I mean, it does in the same sense that everything else that happens does. I agree that her scoffing at the definition is a bit unearned, because she's only just barely starting to get better by the time the anime ends.
Yeah.
They needed a good conclusion.
They did.
Yeah. And that's what it feels like, because, I mean, that's not in the manga. I feel like maybe you don't have to even read it, I guess, that much, right?
Sure. That's funny. I didn't know that there was an OVA.
You didn't?
No, I've never seen.
I'm gonna revoke the license stuff.
Yeah, I've never seen this OVA, but reading this description, like, Tomoko discusses how to make Watamote's second season a success with Yu and Ki, only to be informed that a second season is highly unlikely. 3 years ago in middle school, a boy named Aomatsu encountered a mysterious girl on the school rooftop, revealed to be Tomoko putting on a Chinibyo act.
Yeah, that's pretty funny OVA. It's not based on anything in the manga.
I think it actually contradicts.
It contradicts the other character you wouldn't know from the show.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah. No, that sounds really fun. I should watch that sometime.
Yeah.
Also, it came out a year after the last episode. It was probably on the DVD. That makes sense.
They knew it couldn't happen. I mean, if I remember right, 2013.
They feared its possibility.
Mm-hmm.
It would upset the world.
I should probably make a video about Komi Can't Communicate. I should probably finish watching Komi Can't Communicate, just because I know it's really popular and it hits me wrong, you know? Those are always my best videos. Sorry, this seems really random. I was scanning the article of Watamote and it mentioned Komi Can't Communicate.
No, I figured.
Yeah,
you,
sure.
You brought it up beforehand.
Mm-hmm. No, it's under the reception section in the article for those of you who want to follow along at home. But yeah, I should probably make a video about Komi Can't Communicate, just because this is a common criticism of it from what I've read, but just it makes Komi's anxiety seem so cute. You know?
Yeah.
And I can't say anything for sure about whether or not that continues to be the case, but I don't know. It has very like, oh man, I've got to organize my pencils. I'm so OCD energy.
Yeah, I can definitely see what you mean. I mean, like, Komi-san is definitely a lot more of a typical comedy slice of life in terms of structure.
Mm-hmm.
In Watamote, I feel like it's nowhere near the it doesn't have any of the psychological depth.
Mm-hmm. And like, it doesn't have to. Not every show
Yeah.
has to be like Watamote, God forbid. But I don't know. When it comes to stuff like that, I feel like you need to be a little bit more deliberate. It's so disappointing because people who only watch the anime get cheated out of her redemption arc. She improves very much. So I've heard. Like I said, I really want to read the manga. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I like the idea by the end she realized the idea that being a popular girl doesn't matter, especially since she's like 15 and still has a lot of life left. Sure, I think that's a great ending, but you have to earn it. She has to have a reason for thinking that, and she just doesn't.
Especially since earlier in the same episode, she was trying to go with these stupid schemes of, oh, I definitely bet that they're talking about me when I'm not in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, oh, I bet the crushing this cockroach is gonna give me a, like, give me a reputation. Which, I mean, I guess in a way it does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just not maybe how she wanted.
All press is good press.
Oh. Well, when other people start thinking you're gross because of that, I'm not sure.
When you get caught up with the manga, will you do another video or stream? No. I might tweet about it.
This is it.
This is what you're getting. The manga is one of my favorite ever. She's so alone freshman year, but senior year she has like 15 girls all pining for her attention. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's quite a big cast.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should continue reading it then.
Yeah, just considering how long it is, I feel like it would have a pace that really works for this kind of thing. Like, the problem with anime and manga, I guess, that show a redemption from this kind of situation is that it's hard to show that realistically in the amount of time that you're going to get.
Yeah.
But in a manga that has what, like probably 400 chapters by now?
No, it has 200, like 216, I think.
That can't be.
Yeah, it's because the reason is that it isn't airing, it isn't publishing every week. Like, it used to be publishing every 2 weeks at one point, but now it's like once a month.
I see.
And yeah, I think it's because of some personal issues in the authors' lives.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if it's gonna become faster at any point. But yeah, it's 217.
Okay. Well, that's a shame, but still. 200, Tomoko becomes a part of multiple overlapping friend circles. Chapters are like 10 to 20 pages, 23 volumes. Some chapters not in book form yet. All right. No, I've heard nothing but great things about the Watamote manga. I would love to read it. Right now I'm busy reading The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, which is very good so far. Completely unrelated.
Is that a novel?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 3 novels. Yeah, fantastic book. One of my new favorite writers. For anybody who's interested in a book recommendation.
Yeah, we got time.
Chinese coded martial arts war story where people get magic powers by doing drugs.
Sounds fun.
It is not. It's horrible, actually. Horrifying. All right. I think that's probably it for our Watamote talk. Is there anything that anybody else wants to bring up?
I want to bring up the fact that the Mao ranking for Watamote is below 7. It's 6.99 now. Yes, I find it outrageous. I mean, I wouldn't even find a rating around this value as outrageous if I didn't know for a fact that a couple years ago it was over 7. Even if only like a couple of the 0.01 points. But yeah,
That's absurd.
it's true.
Fucking Gen Z can't handle quality.
Yeah, I don't know why.
You and your tickety talks. What would you guys rate Watamote? I rated it an 8. I've still
I
got
would
it an 8.
Scrub.
What would I rate Watamote? I don't know. It's like a 7.
Wow, heresy.
Mm-hmm.
Get out.
Tenek?
If you didn't hear me, I said 8.
Yeah, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
I think I've always had it that rated at that.
Yeah, same here. I think this is the 3rd time I've watched it, and it's been an 8 since the first time. She still foes cringy and weird stuff in the manga. It's just that she has a cast of characters to witness that. Everyone is flawed. She doesn't become an ideal. She still has defects at the end. She's human. She's not meant to be completely changed. She grows and gains friends while becoming a better person and recognizing boundaries and social norms. That sounds wonderful. That sounds like exactly what I would want out of this manga. At least you made N69 joke. A69 joke with how pervy Tomoko is. It had to be done, but I don't remember doing that.
Maybe they're referring to the fact that I said that it's 6.99 on now.
It's not a joke. It is a 6.99.
Just facts.
Okay. So we should talk and we should decide. Are we doing Anime Club next month?
I won't be able to participate if that is the case.
I think that's how everybody's going to be feeling. We can move it a week earlier or a week later if we want to do it.
I mean, the main problem for me is that I will have my girlfriend visiting for pretty much all of December, so I just won't be available at all.
Makes sense.
Until like the 31st, which is the last Sunday. So I guess we could do like the first week of January if that's what you guys want to do.
I would be fine with that.
I'm okay with it. Does that mean we're doing it twice in January?
I
wouldn't be against it.
Yeah,
okay.
Me neither.
That's fine with me. So in that case, we need to find the anime that we're going to be doing.
Hey, chat, do you have any recommendations for anime that we could be talking about?
Anime that are 12-ish episodes and fully self-contained.
Yep. So I feel like because it is December, the year of giving, or the month of giving gifts, I do want to have chat pick for me.
Okay.
Wow, becoming quite the populist, aren't we?
Let's see what shows. Moaru Penguin Drum is not 12-ish episodes. It's 24. After the Rain. Have I not suggested After the Rain already?
I don't think we can do Bungo Stray Dogs because that's got multiple seasons.
Yeah, we certainly can't do Samurai Champloo or King's Game.
Isn't Kim's Game is 2 chorus?
The maximum amount of episodes we're willing to go to is 14.
Okay. Yeah, what's in my on hold list?
Gonna use it as a great opportunity to start clearing that.
Real life. To raise our 8 children.
Oh, you really thinned that out. I remember it being fatter than the 14.
Bloom
maybe I
into you.
misremember.
Bloom into you is an option.
Yeah.
I remember Aharon just being another show, but worse. What is that?
Aharon-san's is a cute daughter anime. But the daughter is very deadpan.
Oh, it's Komi Can't Communicate, but worse. Right.
Is Afro Samurai 12 episodes? I would not mind doing Afro Samurai. Afro Samurai's 5 episodes.
That's not enough episodes. Erased is 12 episodes.
Oh god.
Erased is so much plot.
Yeah. And a mystery that...
Erased is my top pick for now, though. I'm interested in Erased. I don't care if it's so much plot.
Okay.
I really hope it doesn't win.
Alright, I'm gonna go listen to the Erased intro again.
It's only natural to move on to Bocchi, you're probably right. Miruko-chan is good, Akudama Drive, never seen it.
Bocchi's another one that I wouldn't mind doing. It's recent, but fuck, I love Bocchi.
Mm-hmm. Do I want to do Bloom Into You, Restaurant to Another World, or After the Rain?
Isn't Restaurant to Another World like...
It has 2 seasons now, shit. I'll do Bloom Into You. I propose Bloom Into You. It's official, locked in.
Damn. Okay, I'm looking at my list of available choices. So wait, we have Bloom Into You and Erased, and I need to pick something that's more popular than Erased, which seems quite a challenge if I'm going to be completely honest.
I might go Bocchi. I might pick Bocchi.
That doesn't help too much because I mean I feel like the choices I have here. Actually, you know what? If you're gonna go that way, I'm gonna pick Oshinoko.
All right, I haven't seen it.
Oh wait, but that has the first episode is like an hour long. Would that be a problem?
Nah. How many episodes are there?
12, I think. I mean, it's just a normal one-core show,
Then
and like season 2 hasn't come out for now.
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it's 11. Yeah.
Episodes, but one is an hour long. That's like what, 13 episodes normal length? That's fine.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, so we have Bloom Into You, Oshinoko, and Erased or Bocchi.
Scrub. You must decide.
I'm thinking. Give me a sec. This is difficult.
Scrub. Erased or Bocchi. Chat, should Scrub pick Erased or Bocchi?
This is just like Fire Emblem Fates trademark.
Chat says Bocchi.
Alright, first one was Bocchi, so we're gonna go Bocchi.
Okay.
No one.
In the Bloom Into You, Bocchi, and I forget what you picked, Tenek.
I picked Oshinoko.
Oshinoko. All right, those will be our picks for next time. We will see you on the first Sunday in January at the usual time. Thank you all for coming. Does anybody have any parting thoughts?
Watamote is Kino. I imagine it's gonna remain like that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention anything about the directing and visual direction all that much. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Not much needs to be
all
said.
of the stuff about Tomoko's classmates being grayscale because they don't matter to her, they aren't people to her. Until the few scenes where she is grayscale, mostly when she's with Yu-chan, remarkable.
Yeah.
The cubism you wanted to mention.
Yeah.
It's just a really great visual punch. Yeah, I loved it. Okay, thank you all for coming to listen to us talk about one of my favorite anime. Thank you, too, for coming and talking about one of my favorite anime with me.
Oh, yeah.
If you all want to get in on these streams for yourself and join us in this Discord call, you can go to patreon.com/explanationpoint to find out how. Link in the description, maybe. I don't really remember. If not, then don't do that. So, I'll see you guys first Sunday in January to talk about one of those 3 things that we mentioned earlier. So, goodbye.
Gooby.
$5 more. Fun Watamote stream. Have a good day. Thank you very much, Berlin. All right, gotten right at the last second. Okay. Gooby, we'll miss you.
Gooby.
Bye.